All right, let's just get right into it. We're all waiting for that one big moment, aren't we? You know, the president standing at a podium, cameras flashing everywhere, the final official word that, yep, we're not alone. It's a scene we've all played out in our heads.
But here's a wild thought. What if that grand reveal, that world-changing announcement, has already happened? Or what if it's happening right now, but not with a bang, more like a whisper that most of us have just tuned out?
See, this isn't a story about one big thing. It's about connecting the dots, about seeing something that's been hiding in plain sight. So let's not look for headlines. Let's look at this as a deliberate pattern of clues. Okay, clue number one, and this one is huge. The Pentagon, we're talking the absolute heart of the US military, has officially gone on the record. They have confirmed that UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, are 100% real, and they're in our airspace. That's not some theory, it's a formal government statement. And it's not just the military. Let's bring in NASA, our scientific eyes on the universe. They've also admitted they're tracking objects that just defy our current understanding of physics and flight. They're basically saying we see them and we have no idea what they are or how they work. So now you have two of the most credible institutions on the planet saying the same thing. And this isn't something that just happened once. No, it's an ongoing process. There's now a dedicated government office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARO. Their entire job is to investigate this stuff. And they keep quietly releasing official reports. These things are packed with pilot testimony, sensor data, and they're not front-page news, but they are a steady official drip of information. And that's the thing, right? We're not getting a dramatic primetime reveal. We're not getting some big press conference. What we're getting is just data, reports, declassified clips, official statements. It's this slow, methodical, drip, drip, drip of information, not the sudden flood we all expected. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. If this is so massive, why isn't it the lead story everywhere all the time? And that brings us to a really important idea for understanding all of this, the expectation gap. For decades, movies and TV have trained us to expect a sudden shock, a global announcement. But the reality? Well, it's a lot more bureaucratic. It's a slow, gradual shift in thinking. It's not a headline, it's stacks of dense government reports. It's not a global press conference, it's subtle patterns that you can only see when you look back over years. And this is really the central thesis here. Disclosure isn't going to be a single shocking headline. It's arriving as a series of patterns you almost have to piece together for yourself. So what does this pattern actually look like? Well, it's an increase in credible sightings being officially reported. It's more of these quiet, almost reluctant confirmations from official groups. And it's a growing mountain of official, unexplained reports that can't just be dismissed as weather phenomena anymore. This whole process just keeps going, building momentum piece by piece, until the sheer weight of all the evidence just makes denial, well, it makes it logically impossible. The goal isn't to shock you. It's to slowly, carefully shift the baseline of what we all consider normal until this extraordinary idea just feels like it makes sense. And this whole thing, it probably isn't random. There's a theory that it's a deliberate strategy, one that completely reframes this conversation. It's a concept known as quiet disclosure. Just ask yourself this, logically. If you were in charge and you discovered something that could fundamentally change society, religion, our entire sense of who we are, would you really just drop that bombshell on an unprepared public overnight? Or would you find a safer, more gradual way to let the truth out? And that's where this definition comes in, quiet disclosure. The idea is that it's a strategy to slowly condition the public to a massive paradigm-shifting truth. You do it piece by piece, you release data slowly, you normalize the conversation, all to avoid panic, disruption, and total chaos. And you can almost see the steps playing out in front of us. Step 1, confirm the anomaly exists. Check, the Pentagon did that. Step 2, release slow streams of data. Check, ARO is doing that with its reports. Step 3, normalize the conversation with things like actual congressional hearings. And the final step, just make the truth feel so familiar that when it's finally all out there, it isn't a shock at all. It just feels normal. So all of this leads to the most important part of this whole puzzle. Because this isn't just about what the government is or isn't doing. It's about us. The real question is, even if this is all happening exactly like this, would we even notice? Would we even believe it? So I'll just leave you with this. If all the pieces finally clicked into place tomorrow, and the undeniable truth was laid out for everyone to see, after all the years of jokes, of skepticism, of sci-fi movies, would you be able to accept it? Or has this quiet, steady approach made it all too easy to just keep looking away?